just been through Gunsea to get our tyres pumped and food, bits and pieces. One of the requests on the 4X Forum Facebook site was how to handle towns in third world countries. What about donkeys and chickens? And my view was, in fact, that I actually really love coming into these towns, and they're
It's colour, it's alive, isn't it? It's just full of people.
It's just so different, and and I drive like one of the locals. I drive very slowly, probably too slowly. I kind of like to see the donkeys and chickens crossing the road, and I know that some people find that getting through the towns can be a bit of a chore, but being in third world Africa, I think you could easily get uptight for absolutely no reason at all.
Yeah, you've almost got to get into the mindset of the local person and just slowly de-stress yourself, relax, and enjoy the experience, because it is an experience.
It is, yeah.
I wind windows down, I look out, if the kids are there, I wave at them, smile at them. You looked at the response when you got out yesterday with a camera for the children. You got out, you were taking a photograph.
And I was just taking a photograph of a hut, and they were saying, take me, and eventually we had a little party.
Yeah, they wanted to see, and there's a great photograph I took of the children around you looking at the image you took.
Yeah.
That's just such a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
So I just think, it's like, we spoke about borders, but towns are just such fun. The more remote the town, the less the problem.
Yeah.
And I've always found if you have to go to towns, you've got to get fuel, you've got to get money, you've got to get supplies.
But now, what about security in towns? Because, Botswana is very relaxed, and really,
Botswana is probably the least worrying town.
The least worrying
country is so laid back.
So what's your handle on arriving in a town, maybe in a group?
Small rural towns.
Security.
Absolutely very relaxed, and generally I would always say you want to be with your vehicle, one of you. If there's a group of you, as long as one person's looking after the vehicles, you're less likely to have a problem. We're talking rural. Cities is a different story. When you get into cities, the guys are sharp. Incidents do happen. Mostly it's petty. It's opportunists. Things. It's nothing like big things to worry about. Hijackings. Very seldom, if ever, have I experienced or my clients experienced that sort of a problem. An overland vehicle is not something that they really want, because it's an ugly-looking vehicle that's got a lot of kit on. But the opportunity to take something like a camera or something is there. So I would put valuable stuff away, out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind is always a good philosophy. And if often you find children, they'll come in and they want to help you look after your car. I'm always up for that. Even if I'm standing there with the vehicle, I will support the children. Absolutely, you can look after my car. I'll single out one guy. He's now responsible. And if all the rest of the kids are sort of making a nuisance of himself, he needs to control that, because he's being paid, and he does.
Okay.
So it works really well. You're supporting them, and
You were talking earlier about the getting money. You're going to an ATM, you're collecting money, and you put it in your bag. You're immediately a target. If there is a predator around, you're a target. The bag is the target. So you've got to.
Sure. Well, I used to find that you just want to make a deterrent. So we'd go in with what was our bird book, and that was in a nice canvas cover, zipped up, and invariably I'd look after the vehicle, and Nikki would go in to draw money, and it might be a bank, it might be ATM, whatever. Having that bird book or that pouch would look like something that you put money in.
Right.
And she would put the money in a pocket or zipped away or in a top or somewhere safe, walk out with the bird book in one hand. Now, if someone was going to take something, they're likely to grab that.
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't want them to steal my bird book. I quite like that. But something else, you get the picture.
Yeah.
It's the same as we talk about having a wallet, which is what we call a dummy wallet. And it sounds stupid, but if you're going to be stopped and they want to check you and see how much money you've got, I always say to people, take your money, divide it into packs of $500, let's say. Normally mix the denominations. Some countries they like hundreds, some countries they won't take $100 bills. So I used to work with 50s, 20s, 10s, 5s and 1s, and I'd mix them up and I'd seal them in packs. And then I would have hiding places in the vehicle that I would hide money. When I needed money, I could reach in, I could grab one pack and I knew I had $500 in that pack. In the safe, or the central cubby box between the seats, generally I like a locked steel box between the seats, because if someone's going to ask you to roadblock and they want to check anything, I can unlock the cubby box, I can reach in, I can get my passport, there's a wallet in there with some money, enough to be convincing that you're getting to the next town or that. And if you had to pay a bribe or something, that there was an awkward situation, that's all the money you've got. You don't mention the fact you've got money hidden in different parts of the car. The dummy wallet would, often I'd take my things like my driver's license, I would photocolor copy it, laminate it, and I'd try and pass that off as
your original.
As my original. Same with my vehicle documents. I would photocolor copy everything, often laminate them and keep the originals in the vehicle out of the use. And when I go to borders, I sort of would take in normally a concertina file, documents in. It's normally the stuff I've color copied, and I tell you, 90% of the time, you use those documents. They pass off as those documents. So your dummy wallet is really just to do the same thing. Going into a marketplace, yeah, you're a bit of a target. If I've got a rucksack and it's busy and bustling, I might put it on the front of me. I like to always have a camera with me. Never leave stuff in my pockets. Generally, it's in my rucksack on the front of me, and I can put my arm around it. But I would again have something as a deterrent. So if someone did want to, it's like one of these moon bags, and I've got a few things in there. And there it is. There's a wallet. There's whatever. Take it. Go.
And vehicle preparation in terms of anti-theft. I'm talking specifically now about the vehicle itself being stolen. I have a secret switch on this.
Yeah.
And it cuts the diesel supply.
Well, diesel's hard to isolate, especially the older vehicles, because they're really simple.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much to bypass most of the electrical cutouts, because you don't need much to get a vehicle started. For some of the older vehicles, you need a wire to the pump and you need to push start it, and the thing will go. So I'm dead against alarms and electronics. So it's the one thing. If you do have to have it fitted, I always like to know how to bypass it, because invariably the remote gets lost, the key. We had one situation where the guy had a set of keys that had a transponder and a key. He must have gone in somewhere, he put the keys on top of a television, it wiped the memory of the transponder. Couldn't start the car.
Wow, what car was that?
Mitsubishi.
Wow.
Mitsubishi double cab. This was a good number of years ago.
Sure.
But saying that, that just as quickly as that happened, he now had a real problem. So when I'm securing a vehicle, I would always hide one basic key on the chassis, hidden. I know where it is. I can literally take my hands and I can pull it off the chassis. It's wrapped up in something. It doesn't look like a key, and I can get into the vehicle. When I get into the car, that's the door key. I then can go where I hide my safe key in the car. My safe key is never on my keyring, because if someone has my vehicle, they can get into my safe.
Yeah.
So I take the hidden safe key out, open up the safe, I've got a full set of keys. So that's my key safety element.
Okay.
It's isolating the vehicle. I agree with you. A cut-off switch is good. A fuel cut-off is good. Put a fuel cut-off and put a switch, electric switch to the solenoid on the starter. But more importantly is to actually look at what valuables lie around in the car and how you could lock those away. Because if someone broke into my car, probably the worst thing I'd lose would be a computer or more my hard drive with all my photographs on. Can't replace those. So I always have a hard drive that's locked safely in the safe, and that's one of my 2 backups, because I'm paranoid about losing photographs. And then I look at things like mechanical devices. The best device, gearlocks work. It's a deterrent. In England we had a product that was well developed. It was called a pedal lock. It was a box that actually you clamped the box around the pedals, you closed all 3 pedals into a box, you clicked it closed, and if someone got in, they really couldn't drive the car very easily. My favourite all time was when I did this 1.5 years up through Africa. I had a clip-off steering wheel.
Yes,
now,
you
how
told me
cool
about
is that?
Yeah.
I mean, that was just, I had more fun with that than as just a deterrent.
Yeah.
So,
but obviously today with the airbags and things, that's
you
not
can't.
possible.
Well, this is it. I mean, these are all the vehicles you're looking at. So I would really focus on possibly a steering lock. It's a deterrent. And I think you've got to look at all of these devices as they are deterrents. What people don't see, they don't want.
Yeah. Good. Excellent.